Good evening, ladies and a few gentlemen. Very honored to be with you tonight, and thank you, Katerina. So tonight we're going to speak about how you can maximize your marketing efforts with the help of a little PR and digital PR, because nowadays PR is going towards the digital more and more. Let me first ask a question. Do you really know what PR is, and do you know the difference between PR, advertising, branding, and marketing? I have a small cartoon here. So here you can see the advertising. So you can see, I'm a great lover, I'm a great lover, I'm a great lover. That's the advertising. So basically, it means that you've bought this. And basically today, people don't believe advertising anymore because they know you've bought it, which is why you think that advertising is not so valuable and you want to exchange it for rooms, because you know that only an article is going to give you a real value. For the branding, it's more like you need to have a brand message and history like you have created for yourself. And so in this case is, I understand you're a great lover. So you see, marketing is simply, I'm a great lover, because marketing is creating this marketing strategy. Whereas PR is word of mouth and third-party endorsement, which is like, she tells me, you know, he's really a great lover. And the truth is, that's what most people believe. If people look at a great article, they will believe it much more than a one-page ad, which they probably don't even look at. So this is where our expertise comes. It's to get you the coverage that has other people say that you're great. That is what PR is all about. Before, people were working in a different way, whereas now everything is digital. So whereas in the past, the most important person was the journalist or the reporter, today the blogger is taking the forefront. And the difference between the journalist and the blogger is that the journalist has to verify his or her sources. They cannot print without verification, whereas bloggers can say anything. And then, as my colleague just said, you know, it just gets multiplied across social media, across the digital world. So bloggers are very powerful, especially those that you don't pay. Because obviously, if you pay a blogger, it has less impact, because nowadays on Pantip and anywhere else, it needs to be showcased. Before, people would work with a lot of press releases. They would invite the media, go on media tours. Today, you just do an SMS or a line message to the media. That's your most powerful tool. You need to have all the media's line IDs. You need to connect with them online. You do a 10-minute phone call, a Skype call, and it gives you a bigger result than a media tour, because do you know how much time you need to utilize for a media tour? You need to rent a van, you need to have goodie bags, you need to take a full day to visit the media house, whereas today you can just line them, you call them, you send them the goodie bags per messenger. It goes very fast. Before the news, it took ages to print. It's like, you know, in the magazines, the time frame with printed magazines, you do the interview today. If you're lucky, it's going to be printed in 1, 2, 3 months. Whereas, you know, now with the websites, all the top magazines have a website. And on a website, it can be printed within 2 hours. And also, if they have printed the wrong information, for example, a week ago, we had a press conference, and one of the journalists had misunderstood, and they wrote a wrong information on the website. We called the journalist. 10 minutes later, the information was changed. So on the print media, which is seen by a few hundred people, the information was wrong, but that's just one day. On the website, on some websites, you can see articles for years and years, and sometimes, I don't know, it can go on for over 10 years. So it's very important, and now you have this very important tool. Before, you used to spend lots of money on press conferences. Today, you can just reach out to the media on Twitter, online, on social media in general, and you can get great results at very low cost. Before, it was on how much articles were printed. Today, it's influence. It's the bloggers, it's the key opinion leaders. They count the most. Before, you need to have great product shots. You would send everything, like in a press kit. You would give the shot separately. Now you just create beautiful Pinterest mood boards, and these can work really well depending on the type of products that you have. What I'm saying here, everyone kind of realizes today the importance is, the way that you want to portray things. The product is not necessarily at the core. You can see with the hotel was not ready. You became the hotel because you had created this great story about your hotel, and so you didn't even need to have the hotel in order to do the PR. News clips, like the print news clips, are less important than the news links, because once again, the printed media, even if it's the top media like Tairat, which is printed at 1 million copies, it's still just one day. A website link is much, much more important. So this is the great thing about today in comparison to the past. Before, you used to have people coming in, giving feedback. You'd put testimonials on your website. Today, you have the social media chats. You have direct feedback, direct third-party endorsement. So that's why it's so important to make your social media not, you don't need to make it too commercial. People make it commercial for you because they come in, they try, they are proud to be at your hotel. They do these beautiful images. They tag, they hashtag you. They write comments, and that is much more credible than having a testimonial on the website. Because once again, testimonial on the website, it can be crafted by whoever created the website. Before, when you wanted to find out something, you'd hire a big company, you'd spend 300,000 baht to create a focus group. Today, you just have Facebook friends, and you have them do the chatter for you. Videos are really important, and images and videos are so much more important than words, because words take a long time, whereas a video, you can watch it, you can have fun, and if the message is clear, then you understand straight away. So you have all these great tools, which are Twitter, YouTube. You don't need to create Excel spreadsheets anymore. You have great infographics. You use the news apps on your mobile. And so it shows you how the trend has grown to be more digital. One of the clients that we work with is #Fame. So they just launched in Southeast Asia. They started in India. They went to Indonesia, and for the past 4 months, they've been in Thailand. So #Fame is what Periscope is all over the world in Southeast Asia. And this is a great and free tool to promote your product. You just, create a profile on #Fame and you start beaming. So for example, if we wanted to beam our talk, we could beam live on #Fame, and there would be millions of people following, and they could be conversing with you. So it's a platform for people to showcase their products, for people to become instant stars, and it's free. So it's there. It's just at your fingertips. So as I was saying before, brand ambassadors are very important, as in your hotel, all these drama shooting, all these brand ambassadors coming, they talk for you. You don't need to do advertising. You don't need to do anything else, but have these key opinion leaders talk for you. And that is so important. Obviously, having some events, having these games that you are playing on Instagram, on Facebook, it's much better doing this than saying, oh, my product is great. It's engaging people. You want to be engaging people. It's by engaging people that you get more real followers. By the same token, when you have a beautiful hotel, for example, like yours, it's great to invite bloggers to do a fam trip, to invite media, to treat them to the experience, because once again, they will be able to give you that third-party endorsement. Of course, we are in Southeast Asia, not in America, so press releases and print media are still important. But the difference is that now press releases need to be more adapted to the digital world, so they need to be much shorter. They need to include links. And in order to get that SEO, you just repeat your brand name or your key values at least. So my magic number is not 5, but 6. So you see, we all have different magic numbers. So you repeat your brand 6 times. You make sure that there are links in your release, that there are always contact numbers, websites, your Facebook, your social media handles. That's really important. And the photo captions, they can still be printed in big media like Tairat, and they work because they're short and sweet, and people don't have to read for hours. And once again, a picture tells you 1,000 words. So here are some more PR tools that you can use. You can have a roadshow. So for example, you could be touring across different malls with a booth, giving out flyers, having people touring around in the malls, having the experience of your hotel, playing games, getting vouchers, and that creates a lot of awareness. Media visits, sometimes you do want to do it like around Christmas time or for Thai New Year, just to show your appreciation, because it's very important as a PR company or as a company in general to be friends with the media and to create this real bond, because that is your strength. It's not to just call them to say, hey, can you print this for me? But to be a friend, to go see them, create a friendship that they understand. Okay, when they want to talk about a prime hotel in Pattaya, they will call you, and they won't call the Sheraton. So that's really important. Sometimes when you are like an international brand, so I don't think it applies to many of you, but like when you're a very big brand, you need to sometimes have a press briefing. If you want to announce something big, a new person in your management, your 110th anniversary, something like that. Or if you're like one of our very difficult clients for Thailand, which is Ashley Madison, which is a website that encourages dating for married people. So you can imagine in a country that has, this grungy and hypocritical attitude of Thailand where, oh, nobody's unfaithful, no one has second wives, no one cheats here, that you have to maybe not do a press conference, do a press briefing, do it in a nice way, in a discreet way, and sugarcoat the message. And it works just fine, because people know the truth after all. And lastly, of course, when you have made it like you have now, sometimes you need to have a press conference too, because a press conference, like being published in Bangkok Post or The Nation, establishes your brand. Or like what you said, when you want to have big players on board, you still need to have that big print media like Thailand Tatler here, Prestige, home and country, etc., because it means you have made it. But before then, you have lots of other tools. As I said, the future of PR is obviously digital, and it's also very important for each company and each startup to, first of all, have good branding, to understand their story, and then take it the PR route. Because PR is much less expensive than advertising. Usually, we tell our clients that for every baht they invest, they get at least 10 to 20 times their return on investment. So, it's really worthwhile, and it's also something that when you have little resource, you can start doing by yourself, as you did. And at some point, you reach some kind of threshold. It's like, okay, you can be a good gardener, but, if you want to start cutting down a whole forest, you're not going to do it on your own. So, when you reach that threshold, then you need someone to help you. So what is really important is to understand what you can expect from PR and what you cannot. I always tell every client that comes on board that PR is a team effort. So, we help you communicate the message, but you need to also walk the talk. It's like we get people to come in your hotel, but if the service is bad, they're not coming back. And the PR can be as good as you want, but if the service is bad, if the product is not good, people are not going to use it anymore. So, it needs to be in line. Secondly, it's not something that happens from one day to another. You do not become an overnight PR success. You need to work at it. It's like working out. I mean, come on. If you start out with a frail build, you can't expect to become like Arnold Schwarzenegger or, big and robust in 1 month. You need to work at it. It may take a year. It may take 2 years. But it's work. It's hard work, and you need to keep at it, and you need to persevere. And yes, whatever you put in is what you get. So you need to have a good product, you need to have a good service, you need to have good offers, you need to also be very honest with your clients. PR is like, when you roll a snowball, the more you roll it, the bigger it gets. And that's how it starts small, but as it grows, you get more exposure. So what can you not expect from PR? First, as I said, you can't expect, as a startup, okay, I start doing PR tomorrow, and in 1 month, I get to be on the first page of a magazine. That doesn't happen in 1 month. You need to work at it. Secondly, you can't expect to get great PR if you have a bad product. Okay, you can get a first good article, but after a time, the truth always comes out. So you need to do good to get good results. Then you need to be engaged. What's the point of creating great social media handles if you don't manage it, if you don't reply to comments, if you don't, engage and get your customers to really communicate with you, because they can give you good ideas. Sometimes you need to go out there and say, do you like this one or do you like that one better? And, and tell them, what do you want from us? You need to, to make people speak to you. And lastly, PR is a combination of everything. I think you showed it really very well in your presentation. So when you do each and every little thing, you create a good branding, you create a good marketing, you have a good attitude, and you are strong in every single discipline, then you achieve the results. But of course, it's the same thing. a person who tries to look good but has bad shoes, bad hair, somehow it kind of ruins the appearance. And PR is like that. It's a complete image. It needs to be a 360 degrees approach.